Let me show you how to measure and cut out lace for ventilating from scratch. You'll be needing your scissors, pencil, and ruler or tape rule as the case may be. First thing you want to do is place the net right in front of you. Make sure that the holes are facing you. Then we'll measure out 1 inch. That's what I'm showing you there as the allowance at the top of the closure net. Then the next thing you want to do is measure out half inch on the left, on the right, and at the base. This will serve as your sewing allowance, cutting allowance. So since this is a 6x6 closure, all our allowances will give us 7 inch from left to right, and then 8.5 inch from up to down. 8.5 because we are measuring out 1 inch that we used for the allowance on top and ½ inch down. So after doing all these measurements, what you just do is just use your pencil to trace out the mark. Trace out the mark. What I'm doing there, I'm tracing out the second mark, which is my 6 on the dot. The second mark the first mark on the right is my allowance. So trace out your 6. I like to do this before cutting it out. Do the same thing on the other side. Trace out your allowance down and then trace out your 6 on the dot down to the base. This helps me out because when I cut it out, I know that my 6x6 is inside. I do not cut my while cutting out, I do not miss my allowance and cut into my closure. I hope that makes sense. If you follow this tutorial closely, you'll be able to cut your own lace comfortably without any more tutorial. Tracing on the left and the right, measure out your 6 in the middle. That's your exact 6 inch in the middle, not your allowance. So your 6 inch in the middle. That's what I'm doing here. So I'll mark it out and then join the lines together. Join the line together, and then that would give us a box. That box in the middle now is our 6x6 closure. The remaining excess outside is our cutting allowance and sewing allowance. You know that when you finish ventilating, you would need to sew the closure on the wig cap. So that allowance that we need for sewing too is inside here. I'm just trying to explain the diagram. So this is what we have for now. We're going to be cutting from the cutting allowance, which is these 2 lines outside our box. This one I'm pointing to now is our 6x6, while the spaces in between by the side and in front are our allowances. The reason why I left 1 inch on top is because the net is not so straight, and this will give us a better probability at having a straight 6x6 from top to bottom. I hope that makes sense. Now let's get to cutting. While cutting, just try as much as possible to follow that allowance line. You see that pencil that I drew? Try as much as possible, even if you eat into the allowance. Just don't make sure that you do not touch your 6x6 exact line. If you watch very closely, you see that at a point I left the line of the allowance, but that was not bad because I was still on track, as you can see. You can see what I'm saying, you know, but we're still okay. So keep cutting. Try to trace that pencil, because that's where your cutting allowance is, you understand? And don't cut outside the pencil. If not, you are destroying your lace. You are just wasting your lace, so to speak. You understand what I'm saying? So and this is what we have. You see what I was telling you about the top? You see that it's not straight, so I use my zigzag scissors to just shape this up, and this is what we have. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.